Live from the Carl Chevrolet Studios in West Des Moines, this is Iowa Live.
Welcome back to the program, everyone, and welcome back Professor Jeff Stein to tell us all about something that happened on this day in history with the Iowa Almanac. Hello, Mr. Stein.
Lou, excellent to see you, sir. How are you?
We're doing great, and we love Iowa Almanac because we take away some great information when it comes about things that happened on this day in Iowa history, which is very special.
Absolutely. I want to tell you the story today about a fellow by the name of Walter Schaefer. Now, he was running a successful jewelry business in Fort Madison back in 1907, and he came up with an idea. How about making a new kind of fountain pen? You see, most pens at the time were ink droppers. You know, you dip it into the well and then you'd write with it. Schaefer, however, designed a self-filling fountain pen with a lever on the barrel. Put it into the ink well, draw the ink in. Nobody had thought of that before. He patented the design, Lou, in 1908 and then went into the pen business full time. The W.A. Schaefer Pen Company, incorporated in early 1913 with a value of $35,000. He was so confident he sold the jewelry business and expanded pen manufacturing there in Fort Madison. And soon those Schaefer pens were popular across the country. A full-page ad in the Saturday Evening Post in 1914 even proclaimed "Big business demands Schaefer's pen." They became status symbols, actually. They cost 3 times more than their competitors. The lowest price pen sold for $8.75, and that was back in 1920. But you see, the more expensive pens that Schaefer sold had lifetime guarantees.
Well, so those are certainly status symbols, if nothing else, just to have one of those Schaefer pens, which was really cool. And some important business documents were signed with those pens. For example, a historic document, a big one, right?
Yeah, there are a lot of business deals done, but this one was a real piece of history. This date, August 8th, 1945. Now, the day is best known as when the U.S. dropped the second atomic bomb on Japan, but it was also the day when the United States became the first nation to complete the ratification process and join a new international organization. You may have heard of them, the United Nations.
Now, given the war circumstances, probably very little fanfare associated with this signing, maybe just a small little ceremony or something.
That's what happened at the White House. President Truman signed first. He did not care for those ceremonial pens. Instead, he just used a 10-cent desk pen and signed his name. Secretary of State James F. Burns, however, also signed the document, but Burns used a pen he pulled from his coat pocket. You guessed it, a Schaefer pen made in Fort Madison. And so it was that the document that brought the United Nations into being bears a signature made using a pen manufactured by an Iowa company when the U.S. Secretary of State pulled a Schaefer from his pocket to sign off on this date, Lou, in 1945.
Wow, and those pens, from what I understand, are used by so many different government and business officials across the world.
Oh, absolutely, and it expanded from fountain pens to ballpoint pens, pen and pencil sets. The Schaefer name still very well known today.
Wow, and do people relate to it beside learning about it on the Iowa Almanac? Do they have the knowledge, the fact that that is an Iowa product?
You know, I remember being a kid, and when I got to a certain age, I got a pen and pencil set as a gift, and it was a Schaefer, and I knew that that was an Iowa product. So I had no idea until we did the Almanac story on the fountain pen in the United Nations, but Schaefer is a proud Iowa brand. Yes, sir.
That is awesome. And again, for information like this and to learn things that happen every single day of the year, because Iowa Almanac takes care of every day, there's a really easy place that you can go to find that information out.
How about IowaAlmanac.com? We post a new story every weekday. Could not be simpler. IowaAlmanac.com, or you can follow us on the Twitter machine at Iowa Almanac.
There you go. And it's really fun to follow you on Twitter, too, because you get reminders that the Iowa Almanac is coming up so you can find out what is happening on that day in Iowa history. Professor Jeff Stein, thank you so much. And we always love learning new things about the state of Iowa with the Iowa Almanac.
Great to talk to you. Have a great day, Lou.
All right, you have a great day as well.